like you and what you are bringing to this table you are creating as we go. Huh? What are you bringing to the table, and what is the impact that you're making? And that impact can be so diverse. It can be in the ideas you're giving. It can be in, I was seeing on the news lately, I have been seeing Kasamuel, and I was like, I remembered watching him back years because my sister used to do that debaters contest. And I remember watching him, and I was like that flashback came back, and I was like, everyone needs to do what they need to do. Like, you can talk. You can sing. You can dance for freedom. Please, by all means, go ahead and dance. But the point is to try and look at the positive and the glass half full, which is so hard right now. Like, but we need to try and do that. I want to speak, like, I'm going to split what I wanted to say, but I wanted to start by that, like, grounding, and also to talk about two tweets that I have written that are very important. And the first one is with regards to a ruling by the Supreme Court. I think AO had me speaking about this, and maybe Afrocentric. I don't know whether there was other people. I think it was their space. And we are in a situation where the money in the economy has been it's rotten. I don't know what else to call it. It's rotten, yeah. And that rot is manifesting in very different ways. But one of the ways that I want to contribute to helping people to fix that rot is by that tweet that I wrote about the ruling by the Supreme Court for this case that has been going on for since 2008. And basically, the long short, I'm going to try and like retweet it and maybe pin it somewhere, I don't know, in the next like 10 minutes. But it basically tells you that you are allowed to go back to the bank and tell them this interest rate that you went and added for me, and not just banks but any institution that is under that list that was released in 2023, I think, regulating all the financial institutions that are allowed to give credit facilities in this country. So if you've ever had such a situation, you have grounds to go back to the bank and have like a readjustment of your loans. And even further, you can even link up with other people and you can get into a class action if you want, because you're already having so much money taken out of your pocket. You don't need to be paying punitive taxes and punitive interest rates at the same time. I need to take a call, but someone else can talk, and then I will come back. Yeah.
Thank you, Koki. And Ayot, are you on the speaker? Ayot?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here,
And
but
6,000?
I'm not sure if 6 is there. Is 6 there really?
Hold it for me. Hold it for me a bit.
All right. I'm really trying to avoid to speak on these spaces because of a few issues
No,
here and
just
there.
don't speak. Don't speak. Just take for me the speakers.
Okay. So so we just had Koki, right?
Yeah, after Koki now circulate the others. I'll be back in a few.
Okay. So gentlemen and ladies, I hope you're well. I'm going to start from Africa. Africa, are you there? Africa Watch. Is your
Yes,
mic hot?
I'm there.
Yes, please speak to us.
Okay, just a very quick one. In terms of some of the issues that we have been looking at, good evening once again. I really liked the bit of the discussion that we had, especially with the legal experts that were here a few minutes ago on the platform, led by the former president of the Law Society of Kenya, Akili Steve, and the rest. And I really appreciate the fact that when what we are doing is basically led by information, there is no such a power like the power of having the right information. Because I think that plays a very big role in ordering our steps, such that as much as we push for what we are pushing for, we try also to ensure that we do not behave like the way everybody else is behaving. As we correct the mess, we try to correct it in a much decent way, basically informed by the right information that we have. Because I think for some time, I just wanted us to look at the aspects of issues to do with future appointments. And I realized that looking at the ethical issues, actually, most of the problems that we have, I realized they are much of an ethical issue than sometimes even the law. Just as Wakili Deuri said, sometimes it's in most cases because we have gotten the wrong men and women in place, not because they didn't have the right education. As you can see, some of the elite members of the society who have got an advantage of having the best education, but minus ethics, you find that there isn't much that they're able to do. And I just wanted us to have an example of the UK, a close study of the UK government, because that is one of the developed nations. And I've seen when you go online, you find most of us have been very much excited by the fact that they have elected, I think, like around either 11 or 13 young people who are below the age of 30. But of course, that is not so much of news because in every election in the UK, there are always such category in terms of the age brackets. But what I want us to have to borrow a leaf from is the kind of ministers they're calling the cabinet secretaries in the UK. And I'll also relate it with a few people who held the same dockets here, and though they didn't have a speciality in terms of the academic background in those particular areas, but they still delivered. We remember this lady called Charity Ngilu. There's a time she served as the Minister of Health, and that is the time when we had a lot of improvement. Charity Ngilu was not a medical doctor, but she was able to deliver because the cabinet secretaries in most cases ministry, they are technocrats who will deal with the professional issues pertaining to the specifics in terms of speciality in those areas. But as long as they are women and men of intelligence, sometimes it's not much about education, or rather what they have specialized. Like now, just a brief look at the current UK cabinet, which has just been formed a few days ago. You find, for instance, the current Minister of Health, Mr. West Thierry, is actually somebody who specialized in history. And I know in our Kenyan setting, somebody would be wondering, what would a historian be doing at Afi House? But you find that still their systems work, because this guy is there to be able to push policy issues. And because they have embraced the right ethical values, and they believe that their presence there is not because they are the best, but it is because they have been given an honor to be able to serve. They are able to discharge their services and to make a very big difference. So in relation to that, what I would want us to do, if it's possible, I encourage most of us who are involved in this particular movement of trying to push for changes, that at least as these discussions go on, we should not miss any information. Let's get the right information so that even when we are acting when we are informed. Like, for example, I remember sometimes there are people who are saying, let the president dissolve the parliament. But of course, when we look at our 2010 constitution, of course, we know the president does not have the powers to be able to dissolve that particular parliament, because currently, as it is, the parliament has an independent, it's independent in terms of its calendar. And when we get this information, so is it possible in these discussions to identify some of the main issues, so that at least we can push issue by issue by issue, so that at the end of the day, sometimes we sit back and we take stock and say, so far, what have we succeeded in? Okay. So by so doing, at least I believe that we can be able to achieve much than sometimes just applying some sort of blanket force. Because they were looking for certain things, and once they have gotten whatever they were looking for, some people will fall back because they have achieved what they wanted. Because when you talk to people in the streets, you find sometimes people come, there are different groups, and people coming with different aims. So let's be organized. Being organized does not necessarily mean that probably we get a leader, because I think there is this notion, anytime you mention about getting organized, then people say, no, we don't want, because we are leaderless. But being leaderless does not mean that we lose the sense of organization. Just like the previous speaker who was saying that sometimes it's good we do it informed by certain things, and then we try to practice. We push, but we try to practice. And the best way to be able to achieve this will not be so better than identifying certain issues and starting to act on them. Like from the discussions we have had today, we have seen like education is one of the areas that is now seriously affected. What do we do to be able to push, or even just within this particular time as you're piling, as this pressure is piling, what do we do to push maybe certain reforms in the education sector? Now, there's a time there was a discussion sometimes back, just immediately after the election, where the legal minds were coming up with this particular idea. Again, according to our constitution, we should have certain limits, such that somebody does not just wake up in the morning and come and tell us, now today we are changing from this system of education to another one. So it should be in the constitution on how to do it. Because education-wise, the failures that we have, the CBC, we are here because probably within the constitution, there wasn't particular articles that protect the education system, such that we say probably if we need to change the system, we subject it to a referendum, because this is something that affects so many people. And I'll repeat this question that I'd asked sometimes earlier. Ask yourself, why is it that in Kenya, we have got so many international schools which are thriving? And these international schools have students from well-to-do families. Most of these students come from homes where we have got these people who are representing us, these people who are making decisions at higher level of government. Why hasn't they taken a step of subjecting these children to the CBC that now they have brought to us to be able to dilute our education system? I don't know if there's somebody is seeing that kind of mischief, the way basically I look at it. So is there something that we can do to be able to resolve the issue around education? Because I think if we resolve it, even this issue of bursaries, like I've had people going to the constituency development fund offices, governors' offices, and trying to plead, to beg, if that can be fixed, we wouldn't even need that kind of a thing, because the child will leave the house and go to school without complicated demands at the end of the day. And that money probably can be directed to the schools directly, so that every child is able to access education. So what do we do? Is there something that we can do at the moment? Because the more we wait, especially like on the education issue, the more things are getting complicated. So can we find a way of crafting our ideas based on the issues that we are trying to push for, so that in case in future could be tomorrow, it could be in the next few hours, if there is a situation or other setup where probably these things can be presented and can be pushed, then we'll say we have got this document and these are the things that we need to be done at the end of the day. I think when we do that, we are likely to achieve much more than just, spending all this time discussing, and we don't have anything in place in terms of a strategy, in terms of a plan, in terms of the issues that are very crucial that would want to push and be able to say, let's begin with this number 2, 3, 4, 5, so that at the end of the day, we are able to succeed. Otherwise, I want to encourage us to continue with the spirit. Let's continue to engage, to learn more, to get to understand even our constitution. I'm really happy with the way people are interrogating the constitution. People, basically, most of the local people are beginning to master it, to understand this article says this. This is where we have got a problem. This is what is here. This is what we can do to be able to solve this and that. So all in all, as we continue, let's begin also to have probably to think about some of the men and women of good ideals, such that should an opportunity come where you want to present people, rather to elect people in leadership positions, at least we can be able to position them, knowing that if these fellas get into that particular place, they'll not be able to drive their agenda, but the agenda of the people, and they would be able to serve based on the morals, based on the discipline, based on the ethical background, and above all, based on that patriotism. Because I think we are all in this, discussing all this because we are patriotic about this particular country and we want Kenya to succeed. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Africa. I think we'll go to the next speaker. But before I go, I literally took up this mic today, not to speak, but just to stay here, just in case anything happens, because apparently I received a phone call today, a very weird phone call towards around evening. And that phone call was a strange number, not a strange number, but a private number. And this person asked, to the man, this person asked, young man, don't you love your life? And they actually told me, if I don't delete my pinned tweet, they will make an example to the rest on me. So I don't know what that meant. I don't know if I should feel threatened. I don't know where they got my number. And I just wanted to ask the lawyers who are here. I don't know if they're still here, but how do we get to go about that? You have a phone call, but it's a private number. It was a call under a minute. They said it very fast, then dropped the call. They said I'm inciting the public with my pin tweet. I'm inciting the youth, not the public, the youth, literally the youth. So I can't lie that I'm not scared. Yes, I am, but who on earth will share my number? Who is that who knows me that will share my number to strangers? Who would end up threatening me because of what I do? I'm a video journalist. I've been attending all these protests since day one. Of course, today I didn't go to the streets. After hosting that long space, I wasn't feeling so well. So my question is, how does someone get to go about this? For those who know how to handle these issues, how do I go about it? But I'm not deleting that tweet. I'm not deleting my pinned tweet. I'm not deleting that video. So I will not delete it. But how does someone go about it? Number one, for my safety. Number two, to exercise my freedom of speech and freedom of, my career as a journalist. How do I literally go around that? But the next speaker can speak. That's why I've been feeling so. I didn't even want to speak. I just wanted to be on the speaker panel so that if anything happens, I just say, "Hey, nimekujiwa, mkae mkijua nimekujiwa." I literally switched off my whatever, my location. I've just been incognito. So you guys can advise whatever possible. We can go on to the next speaker. I guess David. David, are you there? David Leito. If David is not around, let's go to KD. KD, can you hear me? Since people are asleep on this space. Engineer Mato, are you there? Guys, can you hear me on this space? Ni kama watu is Koki. Can you hear
Yes,
me?
I can hear you. Yeah.
Since people can't hear me because they're not talking.
Let
Ama
Africa
mmetense
speak.
kama mimi. Ala, mmetense na mko kwa rada gava.
Let me what is it called? Let me inject a little encouragement, especially to AO. I'm really sorry about that. That sounds very unfortunate. I've also been having sleepless nights. I'm just been like, okay, today I'm gonna say something that's gonna be completely out of pocket. But and this is also I'm encouraging myself at the same time, because it's part of what I said I'm going to talk about in my blanket of the praxis concept. I want to read for you something that I wrote somewhere some time back. Convention is something made up by somebody and then repeated by others. If convention feels wrong for you, if your skin bristles and your spirit stalls at the thought of doing something the way it's done, then stop and act. There's someone, I don't know, someone's mic. Okay. Yeah. Who's that?
Go ahead, please, Koki. Sorry.
Hello.
Koki, are you there?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. You muted everyone. Sorry.
Yeah, I muted
So
everyone
let
to
me
mute
just.
that guy who had the
Okay.
mic on.
Thank you so much. Let me just repeat that, because that's the only thing I want to say, and then I let someone else talk for now. Convention is something made up by somebody and then repeated by others. If convention feels wrong for you, if your skin bristles and your spirit stalls at the thought of doing something the way it's done, then stop and act. We can make changes. We can try and craft small slices of the life that we want. We can make convention to make things more just, more complete, and more beautiful. And not everyone will be happy with you, because it is human nature to try and conserve things as they are. But your spirit will feel full, and there's nothing more meaningful than knowing you have been true to yourself. Yeah, I just wanted to give an encouragement to AO, but also to everyone, because I know we are all worried for each other, and it's good for us to be each other's keepers. As much as we are making everyone awake, it's good that we also keep, check on everyone. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Koki. Means a lot. Really appreciate your kind words. David Lele, are you on this space? David, Engineer Mato, are you there? KD, if you guys are not responding, allow me to drop you guys to give other people.
Ayo, can I just talk about something that, and it's just related to the person who was talking just before. Yeah,
It's all right.
you
Go ahead.
spoke. Yeah, they were talking about like workable solutions, and I'm a very solutions-oriented person. And also because I look at data all the time, I try to see the patterns in the numbers and everything. And honestly, this is the first time I have seen this kind of level of greed, because even the data doesn't lie. Like, even when you're trying to, let's say, monitor things like fixed income week on week, because there's a budget that's given, and then every week, without fail actually, the government always comes to the market to borrow money from the public. And that money is not going to good use. Let's just face it. And I want to give an example of a solution. I'll start with healthcare. I have another one for education, but I want to start with healthcare because it's at the top of my mind, and I've just written something about it because I was thinking about the numbers from a unit economics perspective, and it fills me with a lot of rage, especially when I truncate things and I kind of like see, I can calculate how much debt my child is gonna be paying, and that debt is racking up the more I'm even speaking right now. It's not a tenable situation. And I have some solutions I was going to just throw around. But the first one is with relation to like healthcare. And I've written about it, but I just wanted to expound a little bit more for maybe anyone who might not see it or might not understand what I'm saying a little bit. So right now, currently, I mean, hospitals are not taking NHIF, and for most of them, you will find that they have not even been taking this NHIF for months now. Because if you talk to people, and that's another thing I want to encourage us, we are here online, and there are people who are not online, but we can make a point of checking in. I heard someone mention that they were speaking in a Kamba radio station, and I was like, that's actually one of the ways of applying the praxis concept and making an impact matters in your own way as well. And it's the little things because they're gonna reflect in the collective. So I want to use the example of healthcare and this NHIF to make my point, this point right now. So we all contribute a minimum of 500 to NHIF, right? And okay, we can even say 300, 500. I'm not even sure about that minimum, but it is 500, yeah. And you can even say like that translates now, if you're looking at it from a unit economics perspective, that translates to what? It's five what? That translates to 500 million for 10 million people. And that translates to 5 billion for 1 million people, and then 500 million, and then 10 million, 5 billion, and then let's say 50 million, 25 billion, right? So in a month, these guys are collecting 25 billion. Like that's on the higher limit. Even if we lower that amount and we say 10 million people, that's still 5 billion every month. And on now a grand economic scale, now in a year, on the lower side, they'll collect a minimum of 60 billion. And on the higher side, they're going to collect a maximum of 300 billion. So that's 60 billion to 300 billion. That's the range of how much money they can collect from this NHIF, and that they do actually. So why not carve out 300 million in our budget and say that we are going to get everyone healthcare? No one is going to be paying, and there's a set, like it's like the way you just go and pay insurance every month, every whatever year. There's a bill for that for everyone, and this is an investment in public wealth and public assets and public dignity, And then to even add on top of that, since these people cannot be trusted to manage money, maybe they need us to show them how to, I don't know, do it. And that 500 can even be, you say we are not even going to scrap it, we're actually going to invest in our country. This is going to be Daima Mimim Kenya contribution, I don't know, call it whatever. And you still contribute. It's not going to NHIF actually, because that's supposed, has already been allocated in the budget, 300 billion. We've done the math. It's possible. And probably even get very good healthcare, because that kind of economies of scale should not be something that we are playing around with. Those numbers are not small. That's why this whole situation has everyone shook. But imagine now if we contributed that 500, like just continued. It's not going to NHIF, and it's going to now this thing that he was saying about SHIF, right? If someone has an extenuating medical circumstance that cannot be covered within the scope of this 300 million, and those are those rare cases, because that is how you take care of everyone in the community. But that can be even channeled into a fund that's professionally run, and then every year it can even be pegged on like a blockchain, and you say that the thing to the unique identifier is your birth certificate that becomes an ID, when now that's the change that determines, oh, you can start now contributing to this sovereign, I don't know, wealth fund that in year one makes 300 million, year two 300 billion, year two 600. The potential is limitless. You could even peg the decision making on what happens to the money of that fund every year. Can be a rolling investment that everyone votes on, and there's options, and you present your case, whoever you are in the country, and you say, this is what I want this money to go to do, and everyone votes on it, and it's decentralized. And I really want to encourage, and that's why I keep going back to the praxis concept, that we need to allow for environments such as this, to allow for discourse and ideas to go every which way they can go. And then if you learn about something here, love it forward, like tell your neighbor. Like nowadays people don't even talk to each other, and they're living in the same buildings, and it's all a tactic of segregation, and divided we fall. Just even your gardener, your border guy, every person you meet has something to teach you, and that should give you a certain level of humility. But it should also make you present yourself into all these situations with, I want to tell them about this thing that I learned today, because sharing, it's like a candle. It's not gonna make me mine burn out. In fact, probably burn brighter from all the contact, scientifically speaking. Yeah. So that's just my second point. You can give someone else to talk, and maybe give me a chance another time. But that was just an example of how to use all the discourse that you're having to now boil down into the numbers. And I'm happy to dissect the numbers that I can. I'll try. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Koki. Biril, are you able to
Yeah,
take over for one?
can you take a break? We need your mental sanity. I'm so sorry what I've had, but stay vigil. Keep in touch with us. Don't go offline, and don't pick any number that is not having a phone number. Just try to stay on the speaker panel. Don't get involved right now. Keep your mental sanity, and reach us out. Check your inbox. We're with you, guys. That's the kind of leadership we have. So we all safe, but where are we safe? That is just a threat, and that's just a scare. But you cannot ignore it, and that is what they're trying to really make us be scared. So we need your mental sanity. So get off the co-host, stay on the speaker panel, and because that video is actually your artwork, and that is what sells you, and it actually happened. So just because you put it together, it is what happened. There's no lie about it, unless we take different scenarios and then we put it on one clip. That's a clip that happened in Kenya. But we need your sanity. We need you to be okay. Are you together? Okay, you were saying something. Somebody was speaking.
Sorry, it's just I am getting on a call, but I'll be around like in 20 minutes to. I'm still listening. Yeah.
Okay. De jure. Some names. Wow.
Yes, good evening to all of you.
Good evening.
My condolences, first and foremost, to all our comrades whom we've lost since the liberation struggle started about 3-4 weeks back. Well, mine is just to give a summary of my perception of what is happening, because at times things move so fast, and we also move with the speed, with the kinetic, and we forget to account. Now, my attention comes to the regrouping of the political class and whatever the divide they're trying to swing in, some pretending like they're not in with Zakayo, and others going in with the Zakayo, or the obvious traitor, should be an open eye. Everybody should realize that that is the political class as a group. In our study groups, we call them the bourgeois. Those are the bourgeois, the buccaneers, the brokers. So you need not to look at yourself as belonging to any of them. You are the proletariat. And thirdly, there's no middle class. You're just one, one paycheck, one missed paycheck, one firing letter away from being a proletariat, if you believe that you are middle class or anything. And if you can, and I think you can attest to me, most of you, if you take your paycheck at the end of the month, by mid-month it's worth nothing. You're looking forward to the end of the month. And these are things that people need to go and study. Dialectic materialism. People need to go and study such things as the wages, as taught by Karl Marx. So my point is, there is a divide, a clear one, that now people need to open their eyes and see that the political class came and neutralized your fire, your revolution. And right now the narrative, they are the ones who are running the narrative. Where is the narrative of the revolutionaries? As we speak right now, it's muted. Second, my point is, you can talk all kinds of policy, you can talk all kinds of improvements, you can come up with all the brilliant ideas, but they ain't gonna they ain't gonna count at the end of the days. They ain't gonna count. Why? You haven't gotten rid of the cancer. You haven't gotten rid of the pendulum that is swinging. So how do we move forward? The numbers. I call it the arrowhead approach, or the spear formation. And you go to one point in numbers, 5 million man strong. You take the day. You take the day and you run with the price. But if you keep on strategizing, talking, negotiating, planning, blah, blah, you can do that all day, every day. The political class is organizing, is strategizing, and is running the narrative. So it's even better you never started it. Because even what you think you gained, in reality, if you give these sharks, the political sharks, time, they are going to reverse it double the time. Remember now, when they go into a coalition, they're going to be more in numbers. So any bill they want to pass, they'll pass it. Anything, if they want to manipulate the voting and whatnot, they'll do it. If they want to cartel the IDs, they'll do it. So if you really are in a revolution, you need to organize and march and take your prize and walk away. Thank you. They say, just as I lead, they say the revolution is not a tea party, or the revolution is not a dinner party. So you can't move on like that as revolutionaries. You have to take decisive decision and take decisive moves and take the price once and for all and go and move and create a new utopia and a fundamental change in the political, social, economic sphere. Thank you.
Thank you very much. How was the lineup? Who came first? Because I dropped for a minute. I would go with how you came. Give me your hand if you were here before. If you can hear me and you're here before, you give me your hand. Okay, you can go. Okay, my goodness. Okay, go ahead.
Thank you.
And if you're
Yeah.
not speaking, kindly mute your mic. Caroline, mute your mic. General Alpha, mute your mic. Jejure, mute your mic.
Okay, thank you so much. Let me send my condolences to everyone that has lost their loved ones. Yeah, we'll be keeping you guys in prayers. So we've been through a lot recently as a nation. We've seen deaths, abductions, killings, and the police brutality that has been going on for the last, let me say, 5 weeks now, right? For the last 5 weeks, we felt disrespected and hurt. But despite all of this, we've managed to, stay strong and keep fighting. So mentally, I think we're in a tough place mentally. So we've experienced a lot of pain and fear, but we've also shown a lot of resilience. We are determined to push through, and make things better. So our spirit should remain unbroken, and we need to continue fighting for our rights and justice. The police have been trying to take us back, but we've kept on pushing forward. That should be our spirit right now. We need to be, keep pushing forward. Because we are in a transition. We are heading towards a future where we hope to see a better change for Kenya. We are, sorry. Yeah, we are more aware of the challenges that we face, and we are more united in our efforts to overcome the challenges. So our mental strength is being tested. But we need to but we are providing that we are trying to withstand the pressure, and we are continuing to strive for a better Kenya. So I have some strategic actions that we need to take as we keep on fighting. Number one, let's begin by acknowledging the complex socio-political landscapes in Kenya. Government manipulation, corruption, and human rights violations, these are some pressing issues. So it's important to frame these discussions in a way that is accessible and relevant to the lived experiences of our audiences. So we need to spread the gospel. Let me say the gospel to everyone that is still in the dark. We need to tell them whatever is happening. We need to keep everyone in the limelight. Number two, we need to focus on these key approaches so that we'll provide a strong foundation for effectively educating our community about the pressing issues in Kenya. So these methods combine personal interaction, technological leverage, community engagement, and safety, so that we ensure a comprehensive and impactful effort. Then, so as I finish, let me say that Kenya, at this point, we are pregnant. Kenya is pregnant. And during pregnancy, there comes a lot of challenges like high blood pressure, there are infections, people get depressed, women get anxiety, and even there are lots of things. But eventually, they always give birth to beautiful kids, bouncing baby boys, like beautiful kids. So Kenya, we are now facing the challenge of pregnancy. We are pregnant. We are trying to deliver. Eventually everything is going to work out for us, and we need to just keep on fighting until the end, because when we give up now, it's like we're committing an abortion. So we need to continue fighting, because at the end of the tunnel there's light. Let's go for the light. Thank you so much. Alpha checking.
Okay, thank you for your submission. We're going to be okay. Just give us a few, guys. So, who's talking after you? And that's why I say that these people, it's high time.
Hello. This is Levi. Can you hear me?
Is that General Alpha? Okay, go
No,
ahead, please.
it is not fine.
Hello. The diaspora have to offer them some help. Social handles where everybody can be able to go and get uh, the basic things that people can use. Basically, we get the information and disseminate it. Basically, like chew it down to palatable. In short, like things that can be easily be consumed by a regular mwananchi. Like all these guys are stealing money and putting up shell. Ruto and Kenyatta, they sold close to about $10 billion. So if we are able to like do some websites and where we highlight where all this money is stolen and hidden, so that in the next time people, when they start voting, they can start voting not based on tribalism and favoritism, but they'll vote based on the idea and not on thieves. So anybody from the county government to the whole central government who has ever stolen, any person who's caught on the ballot should not even receive a single vote. But this will come along if we establish certain, sites and like the previous guy was saying, we give out all the information to know what's going on. In so doing, they work for us, not we work for them. Because most of these guys are working for, can I say, the West, where they are promised to get diplomatic passports, immunity. They're like the old dictators when they were chased from their countries, like Mobutu. They ran to France. This is what the Kenyattas are waiting for. If we put them through the grill, they run to Britain. These are the kind of things they hope to go and do, but they're stealing from us. I don't even understand till today what the British Army is doing in Kenya, occupying the most fertile land in Kenya, in Nanyuki. And now the Americans are coming in. Are we really in charge of our own country? I'm gonna stop right there. I'm getting hot.
You don't need to drink no water, man. Just take a deep breath in and breathing out. We want you more angry. Don't drink any water. Caroline, Levi, don't drink any water. Keep on getting angry.
Okay. Hello, can you hear me, General Alpha?
Oh yes, go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much. First of all, let me start by expressing my deep, heartfelt condolences to our soldiers, the young ones who have really died because of fighting for justice in Kenya. I speak from Kenya, and the situation is not very good, as people see, even though today there was no protesting. But I want to tell you that the young people, especially those who are not known either in the social media, have been abducted, probably killed. Nobody knows where they are about. And I want really to request, if there's some people who are hearing me here with the legal minds, that again to the High Court to ask the court that police officers who are arresting people must be in uniform and have to identify them to befriend any protester. And if there is any police who is hooded and not in a full uniform, the protesters should treat them as criminals and should resist the arrest. And to the police, such criminals who have been set by this administration to intimidate people and to torture can be able also to assist in case if there is such people, because now they are invading people's houses and abducting, especially they are able to follow you when you are in the space like this, WhatsApp, TikTok. They can see you and come and abduct you. And sometimes even the people in the states are just watching. And I think maybe if the Law Society of Kenya or anybody here, I think we should think of that so that we can protect the young people who are being abducted and killed. The number those people are saying maybe 41, 51, those are just numbers which are not really authentic. There are many, many people who are missing and have been killed. So we should be thinking of that. One thing that now we should address, because from the beginning I said that we are dealing with a very, very terrible person, a thug, and to organize these thugs who are coming to brutalize people and to abduct. Because we are now fighting for justice and we want this revolution to be successful, the protest should go on every day as one of the strategies, every day. Because if we give him time, he is strategizing. So we should be thinking of that. Again, now we are seeing now the political class is becoming more threatened, and now they are organizing themselves. And this coalition that these people are trying that they are going to organize is to protect them, because whether the opposition, whether maybe the government, these people are benefiting from this injustice. And when what are they going to address? What are they going to address? Because the issue that is ailing us seriously here in Kenya is about corruption and disregard of the rule of law. So the constitutionalism is what we are crying for, that we want to be, we want to be implemented, to be followed strictly. But what are they addressing? They are addressing of how they are going to get powers and dish out the government ministry among themselves to benefit, and they will be continuing to do the business. We already becoming, it is becoming open that indeed Kenya does not have any serious debt as they allege. These debts are just created for us because they know quite well that quite a number of Kenyans do not follow things and do not probably understand the finances and how things work. But it is becoming now clear to everyone. So what we want really to be addressed is this debt issue. We want to know the real figures of debt of Kenya and what have we been paying for, because this is where we are getting a problem. And this is where they are using it to loot us, to enrich themselves. We know that there was a report about the Pandora box. These things began from 1963. If the Constitution stipulates how money should be borrowed and used, we want to know this. And we have a very qualified office of the Auditor General. She's able to do all this, because when we look at the auditing that she has been doing, there's a lot of credibility of that. But nobody from the executive is able to implement the proposals of the Auditor General. And this begins way back from Ouko. And we saw even Kenyatta when the audit revealed a lot of things. Mr. Kenyatta was very harsh in State House because they all benefited from this. So probably the person who did not steal money from Kenya and probably hid them somewhere else could be Kibaki. But all these people have stolen money and they are hiding them outside. And they know very well, because we know very well that Ruto has borrowed 1.2 trillion, which is just 1 year. And according to the auditor report, this much of the borrowing he did without even seeking the authorization from Parliament and even from the advice from the Attorney General. So which means the borrowing or the loans that he took does not belong to us as the taxpayers. We should not pay that. He should pay it because money, nothing it has done. And we know very well that according to the constitution, when we borrow, that money should just be used for the development. We should not use it for the recurrence expenses. So we know since this guy took over the power, it's 1 year, there is no roads. There are no roads being built. There is any mega project going on. Why was he doing this borrowing? And what is this? So these are the things that we have, that the kind of the government of national unity they are trying to.
Alpha, are you there? General Alpha?
I can hear you, yes.
Are you done with your submission?
Let me wind up by just 2 minutes, then I finish. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can, but your words are breaking into two. I think your network has issues.
Okay, that is a problem. So I'm really saying that the protests should continue every day. It should not be, maybe we give them chance, because when we give Ruto a chance, he strategizes and he gets that time to attack people. Let us be in the street every day so that we deny him the revenues that he can use. And he will go home because he's cornered. Even if you look at over 80% of Kenyans are not supporting him, are not even supporting the coalition kind of a government that he wants to form with opposition. So it means that when we stay in the street every day, in the next coming 2 weeks, Ruto will go home with all his people. And this is what we should do. And beginning, I said that the lawyers who are here, who can help us, please, they should file a case in a high court for emergency to bar the police who are not in school, who are not in their uniforms, to arrest the protesters, because they are using these people to abduct people, to kill people, because these policemen, some of them are hooded. Why are they hooded if they are policemen? Why are they hooded? Why do they wear a mask? Why are they masked? You know? So they should now be barred so that the protesters should not be arrested by anybody who is hooded or masked or who is not in full police uniform. That is my request, and I think that is the end of my submission. Thank you very much.
Geoffrey.
Yes, yes, thank you.
General Alpha, I think you have to fix your internet because I'm even struggling to get what you're saying because I have to piece it together.
He's done.
It's Geoffrey and then David, then Engineer, then Caroline. We're doing 3 minutes, so make better use of it. Geoffrey?
Okay, good evening, members. Are you getting me?
Yes, go ahead.
First of all, I want to give condolences to those people who have lost their lives, their families that have lost their loved ones. And secondly, I want to say that we are nearing there. The fight is there. We have to fight. You see, when you are about to achieve something, that's when it gets too tough. So let's get tough and let's get going. In fact, to me, I could suggest that this demonstration should be every day. Reason being, when we give them a day to rest, they already have our plans in mind. Like today, you saw police, the way police were everywhere. You go to Uhuru Park, you will find that you can't gain entry there. So it gives them time to plan. But if we do it every day, from morning, evening, They don't have time to plan. Tomorrow we are there. They will get confused. Secondly, you see what has happened. These people, we thought Raila was a good man, but you see what has happened. It means that everyone can betray us, even including in here. I know they are spies. They already pick what we are talking and they plan ahead of us. So please, there are sensitive information that we should not even reveal here because it will ruin our plans. But we should strategize on how we can do things so that we always be a step ahead. Now, like we were talking of occupying Uhuru Park, you saw they planned. These people, they come here, they listen to what we talk, and then they are there. Thirdly, I think apart from even demonstrations, there are other ways we can also try to destabilize the smooth running of the government institutions. For example, I know as Kenyans, we are IT experts. Personally, I am an IT expert, and I know Kenyans have enough knowledge. They love technology. If we can get a way, we have ethical hackers. Let me use ethical in this suggestion, but we have hackers who can even hack government institutions so that we destabilize them so that they can feel the heat by destabilizing most of the things. We go to Huduma Center, go to KRA, destabilize those things. It will make them feel like, okay, the pressure is enough now. Because our goal is like, we don't want the government, not only Ruto, we don't want the government. We want the government to be resolved so that we start fresh. We scrutinize all those parastatals, all those institutions, so that by the end of the story, by the end of our journey now, we could find that tumefikia mahali kwamba it's a corruption free country. Ukiona Kenya now is becoming a reference point to most of other countries, including outside Africa. This is a good example. I am very happy because of this. And if we leave it here, it will be like we have been defeated, and now it will be worse. Because what again, ukiona sasa Raila ameingia ndani, au wezi wataingia. Wataenda sasa ndio watatupora kabisa. You see, the finance bill was dropped, but in real sense, it was not dropped. If you check well, they have started increasing those things that they said they were dropped in the finance bill. They knew what they were doing. We have not even seen the gazettement of the finance bill. I don't know whether it was there, but I haven't seen one. So those people have plans. Like now, again, something that I don't know. What does the Constitution say about the reappointment of those dismissed ministers? Because I saw somewhere that if a minister is dismissed, it means that they have got a ground that they are not worthy holding the office, meaning that they cannot be reappointed back. But according to the fununu kidogo, it's as if they might even return those other ministers back. Like now, umeanza kuona they are sponsoring people, these opinion polls, to rank them so that ndio waone kumbe watu wanawaamini. It's not us. That's not our cause. If they have been sacked, let them go home. We don't need them. In fact, we need a new start to everything. Not only in the cabinet or in parliament or what. We need a new start, including parastatals, including PSS. Hapo ndio wanapata njia ya kuipa. In fact, those ones wenye waliachwa kwa ma PSS, hao ndio wezi kabisa wa kwanza. Hata hao ma minister hawana kitu. those PSS ndio wezi. Ni vile sasa hawajitokezi, wameachwa maminista wako kama umbrella hapo tu, lakini wako ndani ndio wezi. Ukiwafuatilia vizuri, they are investing on a lot of things. Hao ndio wash ya kwanza. So sisi ndio tunakaa tukiumia hapa. If you see like Ruto took his money to Uganda. He invested in Uganda in a very big way. That even has affected the Ugandan currency. Saa hii ukipata hata kama ukiwa Uganda, the rate that was 35, it's now 28. Because after he entered kwa gava, he had now to return back the rate so that he can return back his money to Kenya. He invested a lot. Pesa yote ya wizi. So nikisikia eti hakuna nini, eti watu wanataka dialogue, I don't have a need for dialogue. What we want is let them back down. Let us start afresh. Otherwise,
Jeffrey,
I'm very annoyed about this. Yes?
Jeffrey, keep on being annoyed. Please don't drink water.
Yes.
Kindly. Don't drink water. How many petrol stations right now are in Uganda for the big man? Big man
There are
Bazoo.
very many petrol stations. Not even one. We have rubies. In fact, the rubies, don't be lied to that it is for Uhuru. Rubies is for Ruto. If you don't know. When
No,
Ruto won,
the number of
those
petrol
people,
stations in Uganda. Have you confirmed the number? The ones that belong to him?
we have rubies. Rubies is his in Uganda here.
Uh-huh.
In fact, let me get the whole figure. I will come back later, maybe tomorrow. I'll tell you. I will correct all the information. But this guy, we don't need him.
I don't have the actual number, but what I know, for those who have been on your way from when you are going to northern Uganda, Kitgum, Ulu, so all those small stations along that road when you are going northern Uganda, his petrol stations, they have some yellow colors. Those are his petrol stations, and even quite a number of Ugandans will tell you that they belong to the deputy president of Kenya, which means he built them during Uhuru's term, when I think he stole money in the first term.
All of them, in fact, including rubies. He even opened the vaccination, this COVID vaccination center here in Uganda. That guy, I don't know. They are colliding with the Ugandan government to steal us. So even whatever information they get advice from Uganda. In fact, most of the police there who are killing people, they came from Uganda. Let them not think that we don't know. We understand. And we don't want that government, including opposition, those of Raila. In fact, let me stop here. Nitaongea baadaye. Thank you.
Gloria, you can go. Gloria? Oh my God. Anybody on
All
this?
right, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, I don't know if the lawyers were still here, but at that point, of course, there were so many speakers waiting to speak, so maybe I couldn't have gotten a chance. But if they are still here, I suggest, yes, the information they're giving us is good. It's good to be informed. But I suggest all hands should be on deck. We can't all be bombarded with a lot of information. Tutapasuka misamba. Tushike hii, tushike ile, tushike ile. So if you are in the legal profession, hiyo ni kazi yenu. In fact, that is the work of LSK. It's just in the previous administrations, there've been factions within the LSK. Mara wako in bed with the government, mara wako, but this particular LSK seems to be promising. So if they are aligning with the movement and they want change, then that is wao ndo wanafaa kuwa wanashikilia that legal bit. Sisi wanatuinform tu, kulikuwa na hii kitu tumepeleka kotini, kulikuwa na hii tunaipeleka kotini, so that because what can we do, what can the rest of us do if all the time tunaletewa hiyo information? So what I want is for us, kila mtu ashike yake. For me, I'm into communication, that's why in the morning I was suggesting a communication strategy. Walimu, shikeni yenu nini, kila mtu ashike docket yake. Then here when we come, it's just to collect information and know kama leo tunapush ya walimu tunapush, but hashtag Ruto must go always remains hapo chini. That's the only way we can move forward. But hatuwezi shika hii na tushike ile na tushike. Then the other way they can also help us if they are here. It's not, remember hiyo the signing of this constitution of IEBC that Ruto did after we said, oh, reconstitute IBC. Remember, it is a product of the NDC. And the NDC, which the political elite had, it's not us. Remember, after you 2023, your Maandamano and what not, these people formed an NDC. So it was political parties. It was Azimio, walichagua wao, and the Kenya Kwanza walichagua wao. So how is it that it is political parties that sat down and decided on who is supposed to constitute IEBC? I find that already that's an illegality because there was no participation, citizen participation on the matter of IEBC, because all of us are affected. When kura zikibiwa, it's in fact it's the ordinary citizen who is most affected. It is our vote that doesn't count. So the lawyers can also pursue that. What is the legality of that thing? So that your constitution, the IEBC as is constituted now, should be thrown out, because what was that? That thing was a product of the NDC. So let nobody gaslight us that, oh, we had a chance. That is when we had a chance to be part of the to be part of the team. No. In fact, if we had gone at that point when they were calling for dialogue or they want representative to that thing, we would be rubber stamping an illegality. It's a good thing that we did not go there. Because now what were we going to do? To simply stand there, take photos as they are signing something that it's only the political parties decided on. So lawyers, please, give us information, yes, but come to us with, this is illegal, we have taken the case. Walimu pia wakikuja wanakuja na yao, because it's not possible, it's not humanly possible for us to do everything. If they're aligning with us, let us see how they're helping us. Then on top of, we could also come up with, yes?
Okay, wind up, and then I'll highlight something for you that was mentioned. I think you must have stepped away. Just finish, and then I'll highlight something for you.
And then on the other matter, even with the how that IBC, when they're talking about the panel constitution, there's still a way we can still put our foot in there. The LSK, who I consider our partners in this movement, part of us, have one slot. So they can give that to public participation to tell them who to nominate. Churches, the council has, I don't know, 2 slots, 2 whole slots. We can petition the churches, we can push them. Si nyinyi ndo mnasimamia morality, nyinyi ndo mnataka vitu zifanyike vizuri. Give us those slots, let us nominate people, let us vet people, let us give you people that you can put forward. So there's still a way we can participate. Let us not look at it as, it's already gone or we are giving up. No, there's no giving up. We have to put our fingers everywhere. Saizi hakuna kuachilia kitu yoyote. Hatutaki kujua it has been passed, it has not been passed. No, we have to poke holes everywhere. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Actually, they highlighted that there are some suits that you can actually file, and they're willing to do it pro bono. Pro bono means they'll take the case to court, but you as the petitioner, and they'll go without a fee, without the lawyer's fee. So that's what I wanted to highlight. And then again, on another forum with some other senior counsels, they were saying we can constitute 58 professionals. So like the teachers, the doctors, and you see the way the doctors and the lawyers have actually been a team, and engineers joined in, but on one demonstration. So like if you're a lawyer, you're a teacher here, and all that kind of stuff. That's how people can start constituting. So these are on the comment section. There's that form of how you can file a petition and how we can actually vet a leader. So those are things that they should just be on the fingertips, because you don't know when you're going to use them. But as much as we've now gone back to the Constitution of Kenya becoming like our Bible, because that's what's governing us, when you go through certain things, then you get to know. Once you have the knowledge, you know knowledge is power. So another speaker will take it as you digest on that. Let's not overfeed, because you may end up actually vomiting the way she's mentioning, because you can actually not comprehend the entire information the way they are spearing across, and some are really involving, So who was supposed to go? Yes.
Question.
Yes.
It is Chege. Why have they not started? Did they say? Like the lawyers, for example, why have they not started? What are they waiting for?
No, they cannot go to court alone. You have to petition as a citizen, and then now they're going to be Bonoko lawyer for us. Bonoko means they're going to stand with each and every petition we're going to pull across on a leader that is non-performing, all those kind of stuff.
So why they are not citizens? Why are they not able to do it?
No. You cannot petition and then again stand for the case. A citizen can petition.
Yeah. So one of them.
Right now, already you realize that it seems like they are joining the citizen, but no, they're not. It's the first time that actually sense is coming to hit the reality on the ground that this is not right, and we are not going to compromise our professionalism to doing the wrong, yet the citizens are right. It's the first time that the law is standing with the public and the citizen. So the citizen and the judicial system, which actually not all, are coming and standing in with us. That's why you find that you cannot come with this and it's not in the constitution. You come with this, it's not in the constitution, they're going to battle it over there. So already we have a backup plan. So you get the right petition and you petition it. We have even referrals of the lawyers that will give you, and they'll come and stand in with that case. But you'll go, you as George, you as Gloria, but not a lawyer and another lawyer.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay. Maybe some clarity, because it doesn't make sense on this issue of picketing, for instance, where we were told we can't go, we can't demonstrate. Who went to court? Was it the common ordinary citizen, or was it the lawyers, the LSK, that went to represent us?
No, that one they went themselves, because that one touched, Gloria, that one touched on the constitution. And that's when the LSK team went and petitioned, and actually the judgment came out today. That one they went because it touched on the constitution. But now on certain aspect, like actually calling back some of these, I don't even want to call them leaders. Some of these people that appropriate themselves as leaders, some of the things that we need to recall them with has to be petitioned. And then they'll help you compile the entire case. I, as an individual, like Be Real, I can go and petition, and then the case will start. Then they'll take you through until it pulls through. But then there are these other ones that are touching on the constitution that are actually just being denied on the spot. Because for you to give such a letter that the general gave, that acting police, that's when it touched on the constitution. So he has to go back and file a petition against that constitution. It has to go to the parliament for it to be extracted from the constitution. So he touched on the constitution. And that's why when we were here earlier, you heard me ask that we have leaders that are actually abusing the power for their own selfish interest and to oppress the common person. Let's progress, guys.
Yeah, okay. Actually, Be Real, I think Nini was Katiba Institute are the ones who went to court for this the acting IG's letter, And to me, I'd love for a lawyer to come up here and actually tell me why they cannot petition, because they are citizens as well. For me, I think that's hogwash. But maybe I'm wrong. I'd
We'll
love for
invite
them to
them
come and tell us
again.
why they cannot do it.
We were having them here for over 4 hours. I think you're late. We had the former LSK president, we had the Mbugua, we had Ndegwa, and we had another one called Rene. So they were all here for quite some time, and we asked them all those questions. So we can compile those questions. You put them on the comment section, and then they've given us a heads up if you want them. We just call them. So if you have any legal questions, not that they come and then again you ask them irrelevant questions, and they create time. Like they cannot be with us for over 12 hours. So like if you have anything legal that you're not understanding, like we touched on a very key subject today about there's a clause in the this IBC. There's a clause that was actually touchy, and they really clarified it, and it's actually not right. So such kind of questions we asked them when they were here, and they were quite in for a long time. So whatever question you might have, either you inbox me or you inbox QT, or you put in the comment section. But comment section is so full, you may not be able to go through it. So that when we're inviting them, the questions are already tabled. And then when we're starting, we then get confused and then ask them irrelevant questions. And then you find we remain with the actually pressing questions that we need an understanding and clarity about. I hope that's all clear so we can carry on with the discussion. They were here actually for a very long time. So let's proceed.
Can I go?
Yes, anybody on the mic can go.
Okay. Thank you guys for giving me this opportunity. First of all, I want to condole with everyone who is bereaving and has lost a family member, a brother, a sister. My heartfelt condolence goes to them. First of all, I would like to say that, or I would like to suggest that we should not allow any police officer who is not uniformed, because this protest, the government knows we are protesting. So, for security, no police officer who is not uniformed should be there, unless they're doing a private investigation where they want to arrest a crime, like, for example, what happened in Nakuru. If they say that it is not related to the protest, then that one private police officers in private roads can go. However, where we have clearly said that on Tuesday we are going to protest, no police officer, if this can be put into law, then that can be very, very good. Secondly, I am very disturbed at how the executive and the legislature relate. We should find a way of delinking these two, because like the current president we have right now knows how to use his money, and he pays people so easily. That is why these people's loyalty are to the 2 million they were given in parliament, and not to us, the people who wanted this finance bill to fall. And then they sheepishly go and laugh in State House when the president now declines to sign it off. So we should be able to see maybe if it is possible for a president to be only elected on an independent ticket, and then for the majority and minority in parliament, we can be able to have maybe political parties in parliament, but for executive, the president maybe could go on an independent ticket. But those are just my thoughts. Again, public participation. I personally was not satisfied with this kind of public participation where majorly it was centered in Nairobi. These policies are not affecting people in Nairobi only. These policies are affecting all of us. Watching at what was happening during the public participation, it was like more centered only on the views of people in Nairobi and not other parts. I would suggest that when it is time to take part in these public participations, they should be done in every constituency. And these members of parliament who go and pass those laws that we don't want, they should be present in those constituencies so that they know exactly what their constituents are saying. Not having Kimani Kimani Kuria and Ndindi Nyoro and that other useless guy called Osoro, all centered in Nairobi, and their main view is just within Nairobi and not other parts of this country. Now, again, the members of parliament also should not be given this CDF kit. Their duty should be strictly legislation and oversight. We cannot have developing the county. The MCA wants to develop their area of jurisdiction. Member of parliament also wants to create another market. We have governors. There are funds that are allocated to that governor. That governor should undertake those developments of the county. We can't have a woman rep with a kitty, MCA with a kitty, member of parliament with a kitty, and this we are overrepresented. It's a very big bulge that we have in this parliament that is completely unnecessary. Then I am much more concerned. I am a beneficiary of help, the Joint Admission Board back then. Right now, I am seeing like people are paying hundreds of thousands. So I'm wondering, I was from the village. I came to this city, and that help is what helped me to partially pay for my school fees. I am just wondering what happens to that kid in Turkana who gets a clean A and cannot afford 200, 300,000 to come and pursue his degree at the University of Nairobi, at Moi University. I am quite disturbed because this kind of addition to the school fees, and it's very exorbitant, is going to curtail how we people were getting education back then. It's going to be much more expensive. Majority of us, some of us in this space, got the chance to come to this city through education. And when you went to that school, you managed to get that help. That helped you also pay your school fees. Now you can imagine someone who was getting 60,000 as help could be able to partly pay for his school fees and maybe help family back at home. But right now, a school fee, someone getting that little money can't even manage to sustain himself in school. If this guy must be feared, if Uhuru Kenyatta himself could come publicly and cry that he is not being given his dues, what about us who small people? Are we going to get what we need? If Uhuru, a former president, had to come crying publicly that he's not being given the funds that were supposed to be, what about us? And this guy is like a wounded snake or lion. If we leave him and he goes beyond this, I don't see us having a future here. We don't really have a future. And then there is this guilt trip. As I finish, there's a guilt trip they use always that you have to we don't have to go the Somali way, we are going to go the Sudan way. We cannot reach that point if they govern us correctly. The reason why we are here is because of these people who did not want to listen to us, the president included. Because we cannot be, our views are collected, but now it's like even the way he is doing things, you could feel that he is doing them grudgingly. The real Ruto, the real Mr. Ruto, is the one who came out that day and called us prisoners. That is the real him. These other things, he is wearing gloves. When he brings out that sword that he was given in Kasarani, he will cut all of us. So my submission is, let's continue pushing. They are saying since they started, they are losing 6 billion. That is money they don't have. So we continue pushing. And I'm so proud of whatever we have achieved, but it's not enough. All these CSS and the IT also, it cannot happen that once now we have a problem, so many people have been found dead at Mukuru, is when now he resigns, running away from taking responsibility of accounting for those murders, accounting for those people, the Rex and others who were murdered in the demonstrations. he has to be brought to account. The likes of Murkomen and others who cannot also account on the dockets that they were given. They must be brought to book. It can't be that every time something like this happens, they are sacked, but nothing is followed. Like people like Linturi, surely. The buck stops with him in that ministry. Our grandfathers and mothers and parents back in the village were now wanapalilia na mavia ya mbuzi na sand, which is despicable. And then he's just left scot-free. That is not something that we can be able to accept. They must be brought to book. And all these people who have stolen from the public coffers must bring back, pay a debt that we don't know how it was used. It is not acceptable. And those are my submissions. Thank you.
Hello, guys. Am I the next?
Kindly carry on.
Kindly carry on. Thank you very much, guys. I'm Simon. Maybe to start with, my condolences to the people who are murdered. I cannot say maybe the people who left us, because those people were killed by Mr. Ruto, Baba Shalin. Number two, I think hii maneno ya maybe Chief Justice, this is my opinion, maneno ya Chief Justice, maybe tunafaa tuweke sisi wananchi ndio tunachagua Chief Justice. Ndio sasa huyu mtu asiwe anatishwa na president. Anafanya vitu zenye maybe president anataka ama government. That is my opinion. Number 3. Nasikia watu wanasema kuhusu IDs, watu wa register wachukua ID, the Gen-Zs. This government will frustrate people. Watu hawatapatia vijana ID. Washajua vizuri hii revolution imejaa vijana wengi na wengi wao hawana ID. So when someone is talking about maybe 2027 watu wachukua ID, the same Ruto mwenye alikuwa amesema ati amejipanga 2027 atakuwa amejipanga mbaya sana. Ni yeye tu bado wako. Na kuna swali moja nimekuwa nikiuliza. Jose Kamago mwenye alituibia kura, nani alisema ashakufa? Huyo mtu bado wako. So Ruto bado tukimwachia chance 2027 atatupanga vibaya sana. So mimi hiyo maneno ya 2027 hata si support. Ruto kama tunamalizana na yeye tumalizane na yeye saa hii. Tushaanza hii vita lazima tumalize. Na tukirelent, guys, Kenya ishageuka Uganda. So it's us to change it, right? Lazima tuibadilishe saa hii. Tukiacha watu watashikana na kina Museveni na wafanye vituko zao. Thank you very much. Let me give other people chance to speak.
Who was going next? I'm on the
Who's
road.
going
I'm just
next?
about
I'm
to
on the
go.
road. I'm just about to go.
Hillary, if you can hear me, just take the mic. I'm going to give order in a minute. Duncan, you can speak.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, we can.
So I want to make 2 points. One, I want to support what Chege was saying. We need to know how we can bring the other people to the party. I know we have the numbers, but we can get the lawyers, the teachers, the people who are in marketing and communication to help us do a lot of this work. Because we can be overwhelmed by doing it ourselves. We might not know the way forward. And there's that lady who said, we get this information, we might get overwhelmed. If we can clarify from the lawyers first, if we can do the things, and maybe the marketing guys and communication, they can help us there, we will get a lot of work done for us, and it will make our work easier. Also, is there a way we can bring everyone to the table kwenda hii maandamano yetu tunasema? The one we did finance bill, we got everyone. I got even teachers from school saying tunaenda maandamano kesho. So how can we bring everyone else to support us? I know we have the numbers, but how can we bring in the millennials, the other generations? You see, these days the spaces don't have a lot of people. Is there a tactic we can use to make them feel part of this movement? I know they are, but I have a feeling like they don't know how they are going to engage with us because we requested them to kukaa kando kidogo. But how can we bring them to the streets with us? So that is something we have to look at. And finally, it's civic education. You remember Wamatangi, governor wa Kiambu hapa kwetu. Ameshikwa juzi na Tatu City thing, but just the other day alienda Kiamwangi akadanganya wazazi wetu walikuwa wanaimba huko akiwapatia mbegu za kupanda ama ni whatever things. So we have to go there and do civic education. But this I think is something we are going to do after. The most important one ni tujue vile tutaleta everyone kwa hii maandamano, and we make them feel like they are welcomed here as much as we are the leaders. So one option would be we become the executive and then we have the professionals do the work for us. So we guide the agenda where we are saying what we want to do and everything. Then we can have the millennials who are the managers and all the other guys who are in these institutions to help us with the professional part of the work. So that's my submission.
I'm looking
Yes,
for somebody who's not
Bill.
spoken.
Yeah,
I'm looking
myself,
for
I hadn't
somebody who's
made
not
my submission.
spoken.
This
Yeah,
is
kindly
Chege.
go ahead.
Can you hear
Chege, go
me?
ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
Asante sana. Let
After
me start
Chege,
by
Felix will take it.
Felix. Okay.
After Chege, follow.
Yeah, no, it's okay. It's okay. Be real. Housekeeping is important. So let me start first by congratulating and saluting our host and co-host, KOT 6, Be Real. You guys are doing a very important thing. I think this has now officially probably gone 24 hours. The space imeanguka tukirudisha, and we we thank God because it's very important, I think, that we have this place where we can actually come and talk, look out for each other. I think probably KOT, you are holding one of the spaces that many people have heard saying, this is my first time to speak on spaces, this is my first time to speak on spaces, which is something that is very good. In other spaces, watu waga hata wapewi chance, ukiingia you are truly harassed. And those of us who are from the older generations, from Gen Z, we are more respectful. We cow
What's up?
probably a good day. Yeah, go ahead.
We lost you or what? I don't think Chege finished. Chege, did you finish? Okay, Felix, you can hear me?
Yeah.
You are going after Chege, yes? Chege or Felix, you can take the mic.
I'm talking, Be Real. Mnanisikia?
No, I can't hear anything.
Oh,
That's why I'm calling you.
I'm now back.
Basi umepotea for long. And then if you've been here since morning, a number ya QT iko hapo juu. Ebu bundles and whatever you can. Me, I'm sorted, but your team, leo tumemban mbaya sana. You guys do something. So Felix, Chege ulisimama mbali. I can't even know where you disappeared for about 4 minutes there.
Oh, sorry. So nilikuwa tu nimesema asanti.
Ulianza
Alafu nikapotea.
ulifika mali ulisema like you the I don't know millennium, you're going slow, you talk pole pole, you're being harassed with other spaces. Hapo ndio tulikupoteza.
Okay, sawa. Nimewasha.
You got to work on your network.
This has been one of the spaces where we've been able to be given mics to come back, express ourselves. Tunaitisha mic tena after some time unarudi. I've supported KOT now that you've brought it up. Mimi KOT anajua ninatumaga na pia tuna sort vijana ambao wanaenda maandamano. We've been trying to do that. But yes, guys, the number is up there. Let's support, especially people who are in the diaspora. They've been asking, what can you do? That is one of the things that you can do, at least. The young men who are going out there every day, every Tuesday and every Thursday, they wanajitolea, wanaenda, they are so courageous, they are not afraid to die. And so I think the least we can do, those of us who are in a position to, please support, send to the kitty so that at least we are able to sort them out. Now, there's a very important point that I think we've reached now, and we can probably start having the conversation that I've been hearing. We are having an information overload with everything that we are hearing. This constitutional maneno, personally I'm an engineer. Mimi mkiniuliza mambo ya ujenzi nitakujibu, lakini sasa hii mambo ya sijui kipenge gani, chapter what, article what, and you know guys here are really spitting them out, our lawyer friends. It's time that we started organizing ourselves into these caucuses, having sort of like breakout rooms and discussions whereby these discussions are being done in a tangible way. And please, as much as possible, do what Katiba Institute and the others are doing. We are citizens. I think all of us are citizens. And if you need one of us to go and sign a petition, I think Okio Mtata are very available. Na pia sisi, I think tumechokeshwa na hii regime to the point that putting in a petition, a signature for a petition against something like what the IG of police was doing today is a very easy thing to get. So I think we need to start seeing actions. Let us all be as patriotic as our children are being, our youth are being, and that way we are going to start having a positive movement to things. I think today the courts spoke very loudly that the right to picket is a right that is in the Constitution, and there is no police officer. Okay, wacha nini ati IG. Kitambo hata OCS alikuwa anakataza picketing. Okay, no police officer can purport to take away such a right from Kenyans. So that's number one. Then, like I think it was Gloria who said, you know, watu wa communications waingie kwa mambo ya communications. Walimu waingie mambo ya walimu, watuambie stories za JSS and all the evils. Vile madaktari wamekaa chini wakatuambia interns. So that we are supporting things that are moving. Engineers, we have so many things in engineers realm, from the registration of engineers, the graduate engineers, to the poor quality of the roads, the approvals, the corruption in our systems. Every time when it rains, unaona barabara zinaoshwa, the lack of protective ninis on the roads in steep places, unapata tu barabara kuna black spots. All these things are things that as professionals, every professional knows how the corruption happens, and we can start dealing with these things. What I would like to highlight here, and especially for the Gen Z, because I'm seeing as if they're starting to get frustrated. They've done extremely well. You guys have done extremely well to get to this point. I think we are, is it 5 or 6 weeks down from the beginning of the Maandamanos? The government was expecting you to burn out at week 2. Normally, most so-called revolutions burn out by the second week. Wanaua wawili watatu hivi, munaona wameanza kuua, then people run away. Here, the courage, the courage has been amazing. It's been beyond whatever, but the underlying issues, I think, are bigger. There is a huge issue that I came to learn of in one of these spaces about online jobs. Kuna wakati Ruto alienda somewhere in I think it was Eldoret or Wasingisho somewhere. There was this young man who was doing something on the computer, and this is where he got this Kufinya computer thing. And apparently, because of all the publicity that he gave, they even zoomed into the screen and they showed the project that the young man was working on and the way that he was using VPN. Because if your account is shown as registered in Kenya, you're paid less than if you're shown as registered somewhere else, like a US or something. So walionyesha hiyo story, and that company eventually pulled out because after Ruto discovered that these guys are able to earn 20K a week, they went and tried to force this company to give them information about who in Kenya is registered and how much they are earning, and then they can have like withholding tax. Now, the company refused, said no, from our data protection agreements, we cannot disclose this kind of information. And when they pushed more, this company pulled out of Kenya. And now, most of these guys that you're seeing on the streets, walikuwa wana earn, guys in universities during their free hours, they were earning on these platforms, and now those platforms are gone. That is actually the pain that has led our Gen Zs to be in the streets. I did not even know that, and I consider myself at Nimeshanoka. I'm in touch with my nephews and nieces, and the things that they know. So some of these things are not even being discussed. Tuko huku sijui constitution, sijui nini vitu za wazee. Whereas our kids are having their livelihoods, their income being taken away by this same regime. Something that I think we can have a quick win. We can fix quickly by agitating. Now we can have those agreements cancelled, whatever they were trying to push cancelled, and we get that company or others to come back. This back office type of jobs. I think it's called business process something BPO jobs that are all over the world. India is leading in them. Kina Philippines, people are going to English-speaking countries to outsource. Yes, that's the word, business process outsourcing. And we are losing out because of greed by a political class that does not care about the working class and the struggling majority of this country. So information overload is something that we need to now start dealing with, so that let's have breakout rooms for people to do their thing. Let us have real issues coming up and being addressed. And then one more thing that I had, and I